Picture this. You're at the supermarket, standing in front of a frosty freezer, staring at bags labeled Jumbo Shrimp. The packaging is bright, the shrimp look delicious, and you're ready to make a choice for tonight's dinner. But then, right next to them, you spot bags labeled King Prawns. Suddenly, you're faced with a crustacean crossroads. Are they the same thing? Is one fancier, tastier, or healthier? Or is this just another clever marketing trick to get you to spend more? The shrimp versus prawn debate isn't just a supermarket mystery, it's a culinary conundrum that's puzzled cooks, chefs, and seafood lovers for generations. Even professionals in the kitchen sometimes scratch their heads over the difference. The words shrimp and prawn are often used interchangeably, especially in grocery stores and on restaurant menus. It can make shopping for seafood feel like you're taking a pop quiz you never studied for. Most people assume the bigger ones are prawns and the smaller ones are shrimp. It seems simple, right? But as with many things in the food world, the truth is a bit more complicated. Size, it turns out, is a misleading clue in this tale of tasty shellfish. You might find tiny prawns and jumbo shrimp, so relying on size alone can lead you astray. To really get to the bottom of this, we need to look beyond the labels and dive into the science and anatomy of these creatures. Their differences are more than just skin deep. The real distinction between shrimp and prawns is rooted in biology. It's not just about what we call them, but about how they're built and where they come from. Shrimp and prawns have actually taken different evolutionary paths. They belong to separate suborders, with unique anatomical features that set them apart. So let's dive into the fascinating world of these 10-legged swimmers. We'll explore their habitats, their roles in different cuisines, and the subtle differences that make each one special. The good news, for most recipes, you can use shrimp and prawns interchangeably. Whether you're making scampi, paella, or a classic shrimp cocktail, your dish will turn out delicious either way. But knowing the difference can make you a smarter shopper and a more informed cook. You'll be able to choose the right crustacean for your recipe. Impress your friends with fun facts, and maybe even save a little money at the seafood counter. So let's peel back the layers, literally and figuratively, and arm you with the facts you need to navigate the great crustacean conundrum with confidence. The great crustacean conundrum is about to be solved. Ready to become a seafood sleuth? Let's go. Here's where science steps in. When it comes to the world of seafood, names can be deceiving, and what you see on your plate is just the tip of the iceberg. To truly understand what separates shrimp from prawns, we have to look beneath the surface, right down to their DNA and the way they live their lives. Both shrimp and prawns belong to the order Decapoda, meaning they're 10-footed creatures, just like their crustacean cousins, crabs and lobsters. This order is a vast and diverse group, and it's easy to see why people often lump these animals together. But the similarities are only shell-deep. Within Decapoda, there's a crucial split. Shrimp are classified under the suborder Pleocyaemata, while prawns fall under Dendrobranchiata. This taxonomic difference might sound technical, but it's the key to understanding why these creatures are more than just culinary lookalikes. One of the most fascinating differences lies in how they reproduce. Shrimp carefully brood their eggs on their swimmerets, tiny appendages under their tails, protecting them until they hatch. Prawns, on the other hand, release their eggs freely into the water, letting the currents carry their offspring away. This difference in reproductive strategy is a key biological divider. It's not just a quirk of nature, it's a fundamental part of what makes a shrimp and a prawn a prawn. So, while they may look and taste similar to the untrained eye, shrimp and prawns are as distinct as sheep and goats, related but with their own unique traits and behaviors. Their differences go beyond the kitchen and into the very fabric of their biology. The names you see at the market aren't just clever marketing, they reflect real scientific categories that have been studied and debated by marine biologists for generations. The confusion? Culinary tradition often ignores these scientific details. In many kitchens and restaurants, the terms shrimp and prawn are used interchangeably, adding to the mystery and sometimes leading to heated debates among seafood lovers. Now you know the secret. Shrimp and prawns are close cousins, but not twins. Their shared ancestry is clear, but their differences are just as important. Next time you're at the store, staring at a display of shrimp and prawns, you'll know what's really in the bag. You'll be able to spot the subtle differences and appreciate the unique story behind each crustacean. It's not just about taste or texture, it's about biology, evolution, and the hidden world beneath the shell. Every detail, from their legs to their eggs, tells a story millions of years in the making. You're now in on the crustacean secret handshake. Let's keep going. The plot thickens, and there's even more to discover about these fascinating creatures. How can you tell shrimp from prawns just by looking? First, check the body shape. Shrimp have a sharp C bend, while prawns are straighter. Shrimp's second abdominal segment overlaps the first and third, creating that curl. Prawns' segments overlap like roof tiles, giving a gentler curve. Next, look at the claws. Shrimp have larger front pincers, prawns' second set is the biggest. Some prawn species have impressively long second claws. For the truly curious, gills are the final clue. Prawns have branching gills, shrimp have plate-like ones. But unless you're dissecting, stick to the bend and the claws. So, curled and small? Likely shrimp. Straighter and big claws? Probably prawn. These visual cues will help you at the seafood counter. No microscope required. Now you're a crustacean detective. Let's move on to where they live. Habitat matters too. Where do these creatures live? Shrimp are mostly saltwater dwellers, thriving in oceans worldwide. They're adapted to marine life, from deep cold waters to warm tropical seas. That's why shrimp fisheries are found along coasts everywhere. Prawns, though, are more flexible. Many live in freshwater rivers and lakes, especially in Asia. The giant river prawn is a freshwater favorite, farmed for its size and taste. So shrimp equals ocean, prawn equals ocean or river. This affects how they're farmed, shrimp in saltwater ponds, prawns often inland in freshwater. Their habitat shapes how we source and eat them. Next time you buy, remember, their address is as important as their anatomy. Salt or fresh both have their place on the menu. Let's see how language adds to the confusion. Names change everything. On to the global name game. Language makes things even trickier. In the US, shrimp is the go-to term for almost all varieties, big or small. Prawn is used mainly for larger, often freshwater species. In the UK and Australia, it's the opposite. Prawn is the common word, shrimp is for the tiny ones. Order a shrimp cocktail in London, and you'll get something much smaller than in New York. In Asia, both terms are used, depending on species and origin. Giant river prawns are prized in Southeast Asia, while ocean-caught varieties are called shrimp. The naming reflects local culture more than science, so what you call it depends on where you are. The global name game proves food language is shaped by tradition, not taxonomy. Now let's talk taste. Does the name change the flavor? So do shrimp and prawns taste different? The answer is, only slightly. And even then, it's often hard to notice. Many people are surprised to learn that despite their different names and appearances, the taste difference between shrimp and prawns is usually subtle at best. In fact, most people can't tell them apart in a blind taste test. When served side by side, even seasoned seafood lovers often struggle to identify which is which based on flavor alone. That's because flavor depends more on the species, what they eat, and where they live, rather than whether they're called shrimp or prawn. Wild-caught and farmed varieties, for example, can taste quite different from each other, regardless of the name. Shrimp, which are mostly found in saltwater, tend to have a brinier, more oceanic flavor. Their texture is usually firm and snappy, making them perfect for dishes where you want a bit of bite. Prawns, especially those from freshwater, are often a bit sweeter and milder. Their flesh can be softer, sometimes almost creamy, which some people prefer in delicate recipes or salads. Giant freshwater prawns in particular are prized for their meaty, succulent texture. They're a favorite for grilling or barbecuing, where their size and juiciness really shine. Interestingly, a saltwater prawn will taste more like a saltwater shrimp than it will a freshwater prawn. The environment shapes their flavor more than the label ever could. But here's the real secret: freshness matters most of all. The difference between a just-caught shrimp and one that's been frozen for months is far greater than any difference between shrimp and prawn. A fresh shrimp will almost always beat a frozen prawn in taste and texture, and the same goes the other way around. The fresher the seafood, the better the eating experience. So when you're shopping or ordering at a restaurant, always choose what's freshest for the best flavor. Ask your fishmonger or server about the catch of the day. In the end, it's all about personal preference and the dish you're making. Some recipes call for the firm snap of shrimp, while others benefit from the gentle sweetness of prawns. Around the world, chefs and home cooks alike use both shrimp and prawns in countless creative ways. drawing on local traditions and flavors to make each dish unique. Whether you're grilling, frying, steaming, or tossing them in a salad, culinary creativity knows no bounds when it comes to these delicious crustaceans. Shrimp and prawns are global culinary stars. They cook fast, absorb flavors, and shine in countless dishes. In Italy and Spain, they're sautéed in garlic and wine or featured in paella. In Asia, they're in soups, tempura, summer rolls, and stir-fries. In the US, think shrimp and grits, gumbo, po' boys, and ceviche. Their sweet, delicate meat adapts to any cuisine. Whether grilled, fried, or raw, they're always a hit. The key is quick cooking to keep them tender. From rustic stews to elegant appetizers, they're endlessly versatile. No matter the recipe, shrimp and prawns deliver. Now let's check their health benefits. Shrimp and prawns are nutritional powerhouses. Both are high in lean protein and low in calories. They're rich in selenium, vitamin B12, iron, phosphorus, and zinc. Yes, they contain cholesterol, but modern science says it's not a big worry for most people. They're low in saturated fat, so enjoy them as part of a balanced diet. Iodine is another bonus, supporting healthy thyroid function. The real health risk? Heavy sauces and deep frying, not the seafood itself. So, grilled or steamed, they're a smart, tasty choice. Eating shrimp or prawns is good for your body and your taste buds. Let's wrap up with some shopping tips. When you're at the seafood counter, don't stress over the name. Focus on size, freshness, and origin. Small ones for salads, big ones for grilling. Let your recipe decide. Fresh shrimp or prawns should smell clean, not fishy. Frozen is often fresher than fresh, as it's flash frozen on the boat. Look for raw, shell-on varieties for best flavor. Check for sustainability certifications to make eco-friendly choices. In the end, shrimp versus prawn isn't a battle. It's an invitation to explore. Be curious, ask questions, and enjoy every bite. Now you're ready to shop and cook like a pro. Dive in and savor the difference.